Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jesse Martin.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me?
John Taman.
Pull down my trousers and do your job.
Scott Hartley.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
And occasionally, Keith Gray.
So many social engagements, so little time.
And now, your host, John Taman.
Hey, that's me. I'm John Taman. And guess what, everybody? We are joined by a very, very special guest. Yes, that's right. International television sensation, Keith Gray.
Welcome to the show, Keith.
Hey,
Glad to have you.
yeah. Thanks. I'm glad to be on my own show.
Dukes from the Red Zone podcast, man. Go ahead, real quick. Promote your show. We got we give, I think, what did we give everybody? 2.5 seconds to promote this show? Oh, fuck, and I used it up. Go ahead, man.
Welcome, man. It's just, it's Red Zone in the lab. Wherever you go, all the socials, you can find
That's
Red
right.
Zone in the lab. Yep.
And what day do you do your show?
Which one? Like we have a few throughout the week, so
it's got like
if
15 of them.
Yeah, if you follow us, you'll definitely see it.
All right, well, there you go.
Say, Deuce, your show with Scouse and Christian.
Yes.
You were up at 3 a.m.
It was
I
crazy,
enjoyed
right?
that. I enjoyed that.
I was in Denver. Like I was in Denver.
You get up at 3 in the morning.
No. When I was in Denver, it was 2 hours behind, so I had to go in the bathroom. The bathroom has great lighting in the hotels.
I agree. They do.
Hey, well,
Never, I'm not going to.
Then you should shine on this show because it's nothing but bathroom talk, anyways.
That's true.
Maybe
Pretty
Denver
much.
should have read
Bottom of the
their
barrel.
playbook in the bathroom in the hotel where they could fucking see it. Because my God, 70 freaking points Denver gave up yesterday.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
we had a bad day, but that is like the Continental Divide fell in on those boys.
As much shit as Sean Payton talked this offseason, you would have figured that they were going to go to the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, that's ridiculous. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting with the the Waltons. Well, shit, 70 points. Shit.
70
Last
points.
time that happened, it was Chicago versus
No, it was
Washington, right?
it was the Redskins beating up on the Giants.
Oh, was it the Giants? I thought it was the
72
Bears.
No, we beat up on the Bears beat us 73-0 in 1940. But then we beat the Giants 72 to fuck, I can't remember what I think they had something like 30-39 or something like that. 72. Sam Huff ran it up on them. It was basically
And that's why you have an old boy on the pod, Deuce. There you go.
That's right. Anyway,
I tell you what, they better be sung because the Waltons don't like paying for nothing, right?
No.
fuck no, they don't.
No.
Especially a loudmouth that doesn't get results. Well, I guess he did get results. He can say he was almost in the record books in only his third start as their head coach.
Yeah.
Fucking A. I wonder this though. Has Russell Wilson taken a shit yet this year? I think that is first and foremost on his
Deuce.
I bet you he
Deuce.
shit times on his sideline.
When you said you were going to agree to come on this show, I said this is not going to be good for him.
I'm sorry.
Look, man, I'm ready.
There you go.
I'm prepped.
Dude, didn't you read last year that he was trying his best to curtail how much my bodily functions? I'm only going to try to once or twice a month. Jesus Christ, that dude is literally full of shit, and he's playing like it ever since.
I warned Deuce. I had no idea because we just recorded the bunker a few minutes ago. We just finished up, and I had no idea Andy had Deuce on as a guest. And I gave him warning. I was like, "It's a different show, buddy. It's a different show."
I watch, I know. That's how I know Keith is hardly ever here. So I'm glad y'all did the intro over. I'm glad y'all got a new intro.
All right, yeah, man, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's do something real quick since that was just a shit day. It looks like I'm up here in the top middle, so I'm going to start over here to my whatever the fuck side that is on my side over there. It's always backwards.
Over your left.
So whatever. Thank you very much. And we're going to say, okay, one word. Jesse, go.
Shit.
All right, Scott, go.
Woeful.
Woeful. Oh, I thought he said wonderful. All right. Dude. All right, there you are. Deuce.
Ugly.
Shit, woeful, ugly. Keith.
See, you see that ugly Keith? See how I did that?
Ugly Keith.
See that?
Deuce. It looked like a deuce.
It looked like
A hotel bathroom.
All right, my word would be disgusting. Really, that was just pathetic. And that's 2 words. So, all right. Look, why don't we just start on the offensive side of the ball, since that was really where most of the problems were yesterday. And Deuce, since you are our fine guest here today, why don't you tell me, man, give me your first impressions on what you saw on the offense. I mean, we all saw the obvious, but what the hell do you make of that?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Lack of adjustments. Execution has been preached to us, chopping wood and we're going to be winners and this, and that. I didn't see no execution out there yesterday.
Keith, what about you? You were in the end zone again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
saw absolutely nothing while I was sitting in the end zone, because that's how disappointed it is. You know what? Listen, we said on the last show that, if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, and they definitely sat down yesterday.
All right, well, while you're on here real quick, why don't we channel Grant Paulson, if we might, for a second? Because he made a comment on some video today, and Jesse and I both thought he was talking about LJ. So yeah. He wasn't. He was talking about some fat guy in the stands. So the question is this, Mr. Paulson, why are you obsessing on a fat guy in the stands?
Yeah. It's...
Well, because, we gave up Kirk Cousins, and that's the reason why we lost yesterday. So I'm on the fat man in the stands.
Thank you, Mr.
Because
Paulson.
we're just not. No, I am not finished, sir. Don't you interrupt me when I'm talking.
Sorry, Mr. Paulson.
I just wanted to say that if we had Kirk Cousins, we would have destroyed this game, but we don't, and I still love Kirk.
What's Kirk Cousins' record, Mr. Paulson? Can you please enlighten us on that?
Well, when it comes to masturbation, I'm 15-0.
Jesus Christ, Keith.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, last week I rewatched the show and I knew it wasn't going to happen. But, man, when you pulled out that Jergens and started putting it on your hands in the middle of the show, I was certainly scared for a moment. Tell me your impressions of the offense yesterday.
It was disappointing. It really was. But the things that kind of went downhill and snowballed at the end, I think they're fixable. What irritates me though is the lack of run game in the first half. That's got to change. We ran the ball 5 times in the first half. We had 5 yards per carry. Brian Robinson was hitting the holes and he was dragging people along with him. It was working. In the second half, he upped that to like 9 yards. And he ended up with only 10 carries for 70 yards. That's seven yards a carry, man. You got to be able to protect Sam from himself and from the offensive line, and doing that is by the run game. And we had a long conversation about this on the bunker a little while ago. But that's it, man. We are all excited about Eric Bieniemy coming in here and what he can bring to the table. But we're seeing a pattern. We're in every single game. We only run the ball a couple times in the first half, and that's. I think we need to double that. Or even more, because that's what is going to help the offensive line, and it's going to help Sam Howell is running the ball.
So let me ask you this, Scotty, over there in the UK, where you people still measure things in, I don't know, fucking cubic, whatever, centimeters. 7 yards a carry. 7 yards a carry is first down every 2 plays, right? Am I missing that?
Yeah, true.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so Scotty, what about you? Give me your impressions of what you saw in the offense.
Yeah, I think
you were certainly saying words on our chat yesterday that I was rather shocked.
Oh yeah.
I said, my wife, don't read that. Don't read that.
Deuce and Jesse nailed it. I think I was screaming at my TV for even the first couple of plays with Sam holding the ball, which I'm sure we'll get into. I think the lack of adjustments. I mean, Eric Bieniemy has been lauded the last couple of days for I've just seen Andy's comment there. It's put me off. But for what he's done with tactical genius. And yeah, obviously, I've told you, Andy, it's like a penis, but smaller. Anyway, yeah, what I was going to say was it's one of them where you're right. Eric Bieniemy's been lauded as having this offensive genius where he can make adjustments on the fly. I didn't see any adjustments at all in that first half. It was really, really disappointing. And I think you're right, Jesse. We have to stop this throwing the ball. I mean, constantly 30 plus throws in the first half is just, it's way too much.
Yeah.
Especially when you do have a QB that doesn't seem to have an internal clock at the moment. You know, it's only going to lead to disaster, and I'm sure we'll get onto that a little bit.
His average was his average was like 4.2 seconds. You can't work like that, man.
Hell no way. You can't work past 2.75 seconds. By the way, Andy, I don't know if he's playing with 8 inches either, but it looks like Keith might have been. Figured I'd point that out.
See what they do to me, Deuce? Deuce. This is why I'm the way that I am, Deuce. And now you can see, because Andy Burroughs is number one ugly, and look what he was doing to him.
Right, I don't know what you call it ugly, do you? So anyway, look, I always love that. That's fucking Andy Burroughs to a T. Anyway, look, here's the thing about Robinson. All right, last week, who else saw the videos that they put on Twitter of, hey, look, we're practicing delayed handoffs. Look, we're practicing draw plays, right? Remember?
Scott Abrams, right?
Yeah.
Fucking first play, they did a delayed handoff, and it ran for like 6 yards. It opened up, and it ran well. Brian Robinson, they have even said so. Even goddamn Ron in his mumbling, rambling, who the fuck knows what I'm talking about, bullshit fucking incoherences, said he gets better as the game goes on. The more balls you give him, the better he gets. Well, goddamn it, give him the fucking ball, especially when he starts off hot like that. You see what he did in the second half.
Yeah.
And when you see, all right, Scott, you're over there. You mentioned the lack of adjustment. What the adjustment to me isn't anything more than, hey, my offensive line can't hold long enough because my freaking quarterback is standing back there where they're trying to wash the tackles around, and it's not working out. So let's run the ball. Let's change up something working, or at least let's call something like maybe, I don't know, 40% running plays instead of 20% running plays in the first half.
And that will only help, because the defense. I mean, they have to be able to respect the run, and they didn't do that yesterday. They knew they were going to be able to sit back.
Well, the Bills team is a team that can get run on, anyways. I mean, it was proven in week 1.
Yeah, that's true, but they did only give up 2.9 yards to Josh Jacobs in week 2. So they got a good defense. But what I was saying is, even the players after the game, they came out and said, we knew Sam was going to sit back in the pocket, and we were able to do things. When you got 7 in the back, you're not going to have anywhere to go with. Okay, and if you run the ball, you're going to be able to soften up that defense. The defense is going to have to respect the run, so they're not going to be able to drop back that many. And it just wasn't there, and that's a learning. Something that Bieniemy has to learn. This is a learning process for Bieniemy as well. But we're seeing a pattern in the first 3 games that our running game, it's there in the first half. It's just they just forget about it for some reason.
All right. Well, did you see the tweet from Nikki Jablava this morning, or Nikki Javala this morning about what the Bills basically said?
Says it as if she listens to the show
in film.
Sorry, Nikki.
Look, I'm not talking to her like she listens to the show. Hey,
Nikki,
sorry, Nikki.
Anything like that. All right. Look. So what she basically had tweeted there was that the Bills defensive coaches said, and here I quote and Deuce, I want your opinions on this. Number one, they said that they could see within the film that Sam Howell was just a fucking piece of shit that stood there with Play-Doh on his feet and didn't move from anywhere. He would stand there and focus in on one
quote.
And this was the Bills' defensive line coach said that, look, Wiley's a punk ass, and we're just going to shove him around like he's nothing but a loaf of bread. So, no, but they did. I'm not going to quote exactly what they said, but they said that they saw exactly what we saw, which was Howell drops back to the back of the drop, stays there, and looks at one route, and he waits. So, Deuce, did you see that, or are they crazy?
No, I mean, I've seen that a few times, and like the thing about him staring down routes, like he did it a few times yesterday. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, he's been pretty good at distributing the ball around the first 2 games, right? Yesterday games, because of the way Buffalo disguises the route pre-snap, they look one way, and when it's snapped, they go into something totally different. Like, this is a very complicated defense for a veteran quarterback, even more so than for a 4-game quarterback. to be able to see. But them understanding and knowing that we're not going to run the ball, that EB is going to rely on the tackles to hold up. Sam holds the ball on third down. That's great coaching. So obviously something is wrong if they're seeing it and we're not.
Yeah. You know, that's a great point. I mean, whether we're seeing it or not, or whether we always seem to have this magical idea that it's just going to clean itself up if we point it out and say that it's going to happen.
Yep,
all right. So I do have some film that we can look at here, some isolation of just some of these sacks that we've got. So this, I think this is isolation on
I guarantee
Sam Howell.
It's not a play. I guarantee it.
Little faith you have. Sam Howell holding the ball too long.
2nd down and 14. Howell pressure coming, and down he goes again.
Scott, what did you see there?
Not a great deal, John.
All right. Okay, this one's Andrew Wiley.
14. Howell pressure coming, and down he goes again.
Honestly.
I'm not drinking no more water. Nope.
We do have one more, and this was just an awful play.
14. Howell pressure coming, and down he goes again.
I swear to God, if I was the announcer in that game, I can't remember. Was it Ian Eagle? I don't know. But if he could, I got to take a piss. Just put the tape on of me saying, down he goes again. I'll be back in a minute. Jeez. Yeah. All right. So,
Keith wanted to say something about the run game a little while ago. Do you remember what you were going to say, Keith?
No, I was basically going to say that this was the issue that I had with the game, and I think it was the only time that I actually tweeted during the game was, hey, the run works, so let's go ahead and throw the ball. Like, I don't understand.
That's called Norving it. That's what that's called.
Right. I don't understand the play calling, and more than anything else, the play calling and situational plays. Like, first of all, it's raining, right? Why are we going to ask a guy who's only started 4 NFL games to put the ball in the air as many times as he did? If your run game is proving that it's working, why run away from it?
Yeah.
So that was what I was extremely frustrated about more than anything else. And we can sit here and break down Sam Howell all we want, but your offensive coordinator is the one who's calling the plays. And these plays were not working. And it's unbelievably frustrating. And I'm actually, because I love Deuce and I follow along with Deuce in the spaces, and I do a lot of listening because there's a lot of people that do these Twitter spaces that participate, in these that have a lot of knowledge, man. And Deuce is 100% correct. We know the offensive line is bad, right? But is that going to continue to be a topic every single week? Because nothing's going to change all season. So it's the coach's job to try to figure that out and work that out with Sam Howell. But the one thing that you do have working and you kind of run away from it, it made no sense to me.
Yeah, there's ways that you can hide offensive line deficiencies, whether it's chipping more 12 personnel, getting the ball out faster, running the freaking football. There's ways you can mask it, and we have the capability and the players to do that. But we just haven't seen it in the 3 games that
it seemed like every play call. It seemed like every passing play call, it was like they wanted it to be a big play, and
his
it wasn't
first read
happening.
is deeper, but he would come off of it. Yeah. So Scott, what are they not doing with their weapons properly?
I don't know. I don't know if it's down to the quarterback or if it's down to the offensive play calling. Probably a bit of both, really. Sam Howell is watching. He's seeing ghosts at times. He especially was yesterday.
Yes,
we just simply offensive line isn't holding up as well at times. But you can't hold it that long for a clip. I mean, at the moment, we've got 19 sacks against this guy in 3 games. We're on for an 80+ sack season. That's impossible. He is not going to stay. He is not going to stay healthy if
he's
it
getting
continues
his
at this rate.
ass kicked. Yeah,
And
he's
that's not
getting beat up.
including that's not including the dropbacks and the actual hits. That just pure sacks on a stat sheet. I mean, if you look at it, it was 30 QB pressures yesterday in total, just yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, man. This is
their front four
impossible
mostly,
to keep him healthy.
right? With their front four mostly. Here's the thing: what I'm looking at when I see Scott talking to me like that, I think he's going to start to ask me if I want chips with that quarter pounder with cheese. But that's because of the colors that the Commanders use, and it's not his fault.
True, yeah.
It doesn't he look like he's behind the counter there? So did we see Rodriguez?
Would you like an
I
apple
don't
pie?
recall seeing Rodriguez in the game yesterday. Did he play at all yesterday?
I don't
Because
recall. So I don't recall.
Here's the thing about the running game. All right, we want to get the running game going, but you can't trust Gibson. I'm sorry. You can't trust Gibson for anything. Done with him. All right. I was shocked that they put him back in the game yesterday because I guess they just kind of figured, fuck it, why not? Get the fuck back out there. Because look, man, how many times does he have to be told put two hands on the ball? And I'm going to point at something. And Deuce, I want you to tell me if I'm full of crap or not. I keep seeing similar problems with similar players over extended periods of time. Running backs with one hand on the ball. Robinson carries it the same way. He doesn't really cover up too much. He keeps it in one hand. Gibson, he lets that thing out there in one arm, tucked in there like he's a wide receiver running free in the field. I see quarterbacks that run back to the back of their drop and stand there and wait for the tackles to come around with those defensive ends and get smashed in the head. Heineke did it. Wentz did it. Now, granted, they didn't have any place to step up, but I have to think that this year it's just at least a little bit better.
Yeah, I've seen times where he does have room to move up.
He should be stepping up. So am I missing something here, or do we have a coaching problem? I mean, I know it's nice to say, oh, we have a woman coaching our running backs, and I don't want to point at her for her gender. It's just a matter of our running backs. This is a problem. So what are you going to do? You can't trust Gibson. Where's Rodriguez? Put him in the game. Can he catch these? Can he catch little flare outs? Can he catch the screens and do the same things?
I think the drills, like if you're at camp, like for the past couple of years, and when you think about somebody like Randy Jordan, he's one of the best running back coaches.
Jordan, yes, he is.
Yeah. He's one of the best running back coaches in the league. Sometimes you just don't have it, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the player just don't have it, no matter what type of coaching that they have. Gibby wasn't a great wide receiver. He was an athlete. Like in college, you call people like him an athlete. And his issue is always running around traffic. It's always running around traffic. That's why he didn't have as many. I think he had one fumble and he recovered it back last year because he wasn't running after B-Rob got back, right? So he still has that mindset that he's in the open field. That's why a lot of his fumbles happen when he's going to the ground. Because when you're out in the open on the edges with just corners, it's usually not a lot of traffic. Yeah. Right. So you're not really protecting the football. So that's something he hasn't done since he's been there. And I'm quite sure Randy Jordan is teaching him what he's supposed to be doing. And he's probably doing it in practice. But when it comes to game time, he's just not doing it. And it's just like sometimes players just don't have it.
So can you trust him? Do you give him the ball again?
Nope. I bench him. If like we had just said this, Eric Bieniemy bench Pacheco last year because he dropped the ball. He wasn't following through his own assignments. He just wasn't ready. He benched him, right? If EB really wants to come in here and chop wood and show that we're different and do all these things, this person is causing you opportunities to score when it's tough for us to score. It's time for you to bench him and bring in C-Rod and see what he can do. At this point, I don't even activate Gibby next week.
Damn,
I agree.
Keith, what would you think? I mean, so that would leave a roster spot open. You'd have to find a running back somewhere. So what do? You bring Patterson back?
Williams,
Williams, I thought is hurt. Yeah. Was he out till week? Of course. I thought they put him on IR. I thought they put him on a short-term IR, but I'm not sure.
No, yeah. Jonathan Williams is not. He's not on the team. I don't think. Because I think they wasn't. Yeah, they like
settlement.
Yeah.
And so, Patterson got picked up by somebody else.
He's with the Chargers.
He was Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, but you have the other kid that's big that did really well in the offseason that's on the practice squad. Gore.
Oh, Gore. Yeah.
He runs good. He runs angry. I like it.
You have Gore. So and look, like B-Rob is running option routes. He's catching the football well. He's running the screens well. He's getting upfield. So, I mean, you have Samuel still. Maybe now we can see more of Samuel, like see him more, being in that, Debo type role, what I'm saying? Those screens, different things like that. Maybe that'll open him up a little bit more. But, yeah, man, it's time to send a message because he's not going to be here next year anyway. So it's time to start prepping.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, that would be a good move to bring up the guy that you mentioned who I forgot.
You know what would have been a good move?
Please tell me.
If we would have traded up, because I've been trying to tell everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you for having me.
And everybody was telling me, running backs, they're worthless. You get them in the 8th round and the 16th round in the draft. But if we would have traded up and got Hall of Famer Bijan Robinson, we wouldn't be having these problems right now.
Tell us about Bijan, Keith.
He's the man.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
So
what
anyway,
did Bijan do yesterday? I don't think he had a very good game, did he?
We're not worried about Bijan yesterday. We're worried about Bijan's entire career.
Because we can always imagine Bijan wearing whatever we want.
That's right. Bijan's going to run up and down that field. He knows where to place his balls, and that's in the end zone, baby.
The end zone. Ideal. He really wanted to say my mustache.
Oh, come on, John.
All righty. Well, there you go. There's your Bijan Robinson Keith slobber moment for the show. All right. Okay, why don't we do some head smacks and butt smacks or whatever we got? I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Do you even know what we do, John?
I do. I know completely what we do, and you know what we do? We don't do anything by the book.
Butt pass.
Head smack. Get out of here. That's right. All right, so we'll start off with our guest Deuce. Who's your first offensive butt pat of the day?
That's rough.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Hey. Cheeseman had a good game.
Damn, he stole mine.
There you go.
When the best way to get the first butt pat of the day is to just simply not fuck up, man, we are in a bad spot. But hey, at least we're not Denver.
That's true.
At least we're not.
I'll give one. I'll give one to Charles Leno. He had an actually good game yesterday. Gave up 0 sacks, 0 pressures, and 0 quarterback hits. So that's about all I can. Can do.
Like I said, Hal gets back there and stays right where he's trying to wash him through. So a lot of here she
is. Get out of here.
Hey, you want to know something fun? If the Eagles lose tonight, we fucking managed to get into first place with a loss yesterday. We got smoked yesterday, and we'll be in first place because the Cowboys lost to a team we beat in conference.
That's true.
Woo-hoo-hoo. So there you go.
You guys see why I am the way I am.
Look, man, you said I do, right? You said I do.
Yeah, you said it. You made that commitment.
You did. All right, so you gave a butt pat. We got one for Cheeseman, and you gave one to who did you say, Jesse?
Charles Leno.
Yeah. All right, Keith, who's your first butt pat of the day?
To the Bills Mafia for showing up to their home game.
Oh, what a dick. Get out of here. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Attaboy. Yeah, whatever. This is how Keith manages to never get in a fight in the stadium. He just looks at all of them and goes, "You guys are super." All right. Scott, who's your first? Why is Keith lubing his hands? Are we really worried about this again? Scott, who's your first offensive butt pat of the day?
I'm a power lifter now. I got to take care of the calluses.
I'm struggling here. I really don't know.
Think about it while you get my hot McApple pie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Would you like fries with that?
Yeah. Okay. I would like to give my first offensive butt pat of the day. My favorite guy so far this year is Sam Cosby. That dude just fucking beats some people's asses, and I like him. Yesterday, they had a bad day as a unit, but
Well, he was good. Him and Charles were the best offensive linemen. Neither one of them gave up any sacks or quarterback hits or even pressures.
Well, you know what I say? If the offensive line is struggling, all right, if the quarterback is struggling behind it by waiting too long, then let the offensive line do something that's much more fun. Run block. Get out there and go forward. Don't take the passive pass blocking. You know, you take it. You take the shot. When you're freaking run blocking, let Sam Cosmi get out there and throw some goddamn fucking haymakers at some people, because he will. That dude, I guarantee you, if he could, he would rip bleachers out of the stands and crack a safety over the head with him. All right, my man's coming out with a chair. All right, don't even let him throw his helmet up in the air. Sam Cosmi, he gets my butt pat simply because he gets downfield and kicks ass. Attaboy.
Keith? Who's your
already gave my answer?
Oh shit!
Oh, you don't have any more? I mean, you were rubbing up your hands there. I just gave mine to Sam Cosmi. Deuce, you got any more butt pats for the offense?
No,
there's nobody there. How about
you?
you?
Brian Robinson. I mean,
yeah. That's true. That's true. I forgot
Robinson.
about that.
Yeah, I got to give it to him. He runs very well in traffic. I liked how I thought Matt Ryan did a pretty good job in the broadcast yesterday.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, but Robinson, I think Robinson is turning out to be an excellent bell cow.
Yeah. Well, I said this on X Twitter today, whatever. Tiki Barber was in the building. That was a dude that couldn't stop fumbling to save his life.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just grab him for a couple of minutes and say, hey, why don't you take Antonio Gibson out to dinner and show him?
I told on the bunker, I was like, Gibson needs to spend like a week with Tiki Barber.
Barber, I'm telling you, I called him Fumble Man. I used to make cartoons about him, Fumble Man. Then he learned how to put that. He carried that thing so high up here like this, it was almost funny.
High and tight.
Never fumbled again.
Yeah.
Tom Coughlin got a hold of his ass. That's right. All right, so okay, why don't we move over to the head smacks for the offense? Well, we'll do some butt pats for defense first. Why don't we remain positive? Well, Scott, we'll start with you up there. How about some butt pats for the defense? Who's your first?
I'll go Kendall Fuller for the interception, even though it was like a punt.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Kendall Fuller
he was good in coverage yesterday too.
At the moment, Pro Bowl / All Pro borderline season. That dude is playing well.
He's playing some good ball.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. All right, Deuce, who's your first butt pat on defense?
Abdullah Anderson.
Attaboy.
He was a good ad.
He is playing well, and I don't know what's going to happen when Mathis returns, but he has been playing well.
It's last year's Ridgeway.
I tell you what,
yeah, it was a good pickup.
I have to give 2 for that because that's a attaboy. Big butt. You got to get all that thing because he has been, man. He's been playing really well for us. I don't want to say quietly because when he does do something, he causes a ruckus, and I like that. I like defensive players that don't just, I don't want to make the tackle, get up, and brush yourself off. Fucking cause a problem.
Yeah.
Get in there. Get the fucking police involved if you have to. And I like that. Keith, who's your first defensive butt pat of the day?
Well, I didn't rewatch the game on TV, so I'm just gonna have to give it to, believe it or not, the entire defense, because they at least kept us in this game through the fourth quarter at 16-0.
Yeah.
When your offense can't score, listen. When your offense can't score, and your defense still keeps you in the game up until the fourth quarter, and we lose the way I did, it's not the defense's fault.
Yeah. No. I agree.
I agree. Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, we kept getting our ass kicked. I kept thinking all day long, God, we're getting our dicks kicked in the dirt. And you look up and it's 16-0.
Yep.
And you're like, and I kept saying it in our chat, if we could just get a touchdown on this drive, interception. If we could just get a touchdown on this drive, interception.
It could go, listen, it could also go the other way as well, though, because they gave up a lot of big third down plays.
Yeah.
Which in
we have a lot of long drives. We have 2 really long drives.
Which could have helped our offense as well. So, I mean, I don't feel good about giving them the game ball because no one on this team really, in my opinion, deserves it.
All right, what about you, Jesse? Who's your defensive butt?
Yeah, for 2 weeks in a row, I'm gonna give it to Chase Young. And he wasn't perfect, but he was the most disruptive on that defensive line throughout the game. He was close a couple of times. He got washed a couple of times, but I really see a good effort from Chase Young so far in the first 2 games.
Well, from where I was sitting, his mom thought so too, because he got a tackle in the game, and she is the only one that cheered.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Keith,
I mean, we were games. Yeah. Yeah, we were down. We were down bad at this point. Game was over.
Yeah,
In fact, I was getting ready to leave, but she's out there cheering for her son. I mean, hey, I don't hate her for it. I don't blame her. I get it. But
no,
man,
I really like what we've seen from him. Everybody or a lot of people wrote him off, but I kept the faith with Chase. He's a superior talent when he's fully healthy, and you're seeing some of the semblance of his rookie year. And I'm here for it. We still got a long way to go, guys. It was only the third game of the season, but I do like how this defensive line is going to be able to get after quarterbacks. I mean, hey, we could very well have a 8-9 sack game coming up here soon. I mean, we are playing the Bears.
That would be nice, a 9-sack game. That'd be sweet. All right, so Keith, let me ask you this, and specifically you, since you are doing your best to get yourself looking younger and probably trying to attract some twinks or something like that. So just what does this mean in terms of fashion? I know. Some fun today, Gabe. Hell is that? That is Chase Young. Huh?
I'm out in public and I don't feel like anybody asking me for autographs.
Really? That's what that is? I know. Some fun today, Gabe.
No. That's the fuck them kids. I ain't signing your shit. Look.
He looks like the abominable snowman from that old fucking
said by Givenchy. Yeah,
it was cold outside. Come on, guys.
Cold outside. Is that what it was?
It was humid. He was protecting his locks.
Deuce, what the hell was that? Was that like the male burqa? Is he trying to sell this thing?
I don't know, man. Like they just go too far for me. But hey, I don't know, man.
Tell you what, the guy who made the big hats is probably like, "Hey, man, try this. This is a whole head. Look at. I don't know what it is, but put it on anyway. Just wear it. See if I can sell something."
I showed my wife. She's like, "My wife. She's like, what's that? A new mask?" I said, "I don't know."
That stops everything, including the attention of women. So don't wear it, Scott. Anyway, let's see. Why don't we go to some defensive?
You got to give Deuce and Scott their butt pats for defense.
Deuce gave his to Abdullah.
Oh, that's right, Scott.
I haven't given mine.
I haven't done one yet.
And I really. Have you given one yet, Scott? I thought I gave.
No, not yet. No.
Go ahead. Who's your first defensive butt pat of the day?
No, I did actually. Did I not say? Did I not say Kendall Fuller?
You did, and that's see. I mean, I don't know why people ever would question my memory. Anyway, where were we?
You didn't give your butt pat.
Oh, I got to give a butt pat. All right, so I'm going to give a butt pat to the Broncos. Attaboy. Way to go, man. Fuck yeah. You took the attention away from us, baby. There you go. That's all I got. There's nobody on our offense worth giving a butt pat to, so we'll just give it to the Broncos. Attaboy. All right, so let's go to some head smacks. Jesse, we'll start with you. Who's your first offensive head smack of the day?
I mean, where to begin? I guess I'm going to give it to Eric Bieniemy. He's got to call the plane better.
Dude, if you pop that fucking dome on his head, if you smack it too hard, I don't know, it's like chocolate pudding will come out. I don't know. That thing,
chocolate pudding is crazy.
I said yesterday, it looks like a turtle crawled up under his scalp and went to sleep. That big old fucking knot.
Yeah, that is an old school. He lost his hair early.
Not even his hair. He's got a knot on that head. Yeah. Probably where his extra offensive brain lies.
Yeah, we know this is a learning process for him, but he's got to do better. He's got to know the scope of the situation and do more to protect Sam and protect the offense as a whole and just run the damn ball. I think I stole Keith's head smack.
What about you, Deuce? Who you got as a butt pat or a head smack on deep or offense? I'm fucking all over the road now. So
that's all good. Definitely Gibby. We should
stole another one. There's plenty to go around, Keith. There's plenty to go around.
Low-hanging fruit, Keith. Take it.
Go ahead, man.
No, I'm not ready. I
was talking to our guest here, if you don't mind.
I thought I was the guest.
Nah, I go with Gibby. Yeah, and I shouldn't be seeing him in a few weeks.
You know, I'd hate to say, okay, let's cut him in the middle of the season because you know what'll happen. He'll get picked up by a freaking contender, and they'll go to the Super Bowl, and he'll be all, hey, we've seen that movie before.
I mean, hey, look, you might. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get much in the trade, but if a running back goes down, you never know.
Yeah,
we got what 4 or 5 weeks left for the
true.
trade deadline. So you sit them, put some offers out there, get a day 3 pick. I mean, get some cash or get some pick swaps or something.
Yeah,
So you never know.
I mean, if you can, we do not have a position of strength. I think when we're bargaining with that guy, because what are you going to do? He's pretty good at doing this. He's never managed to screw that up. They did let him return one yesterday.
Yeah, he had a good return. Didn't he have a good
fumble.
return? Yeah.
Right after the fumble that they let go right in for a touchdown. All right, so Keith, who's your head smack since Deuce stole yours?
Well, I could say Sam, but I'm not going to go for the easy one. I'm going to go ahead and go with Montez Sweat. Where are you at, bro? You always show up. You always show up to games against.
We are doing offensive head smacks. Just so you
know. So
I would say Sam, but dude, let me talk about the defense.
So as I was saying, Sam Howell, you can't be throwing 4 interceptions like that, bro. What are you doing,
Good
Sam?
cover.
like that was terrible.
Yeah.
Sam Howell, there you go. All right, Scotty, what about you? Who's your offensive head smack?
Andrew Wiley, I've seen milk turn that fuck. He is doing my head in. I mean, honestly, just one absolute disaster this idiot is, and we're paying him $16 million over the next 2 years. We haven't even gotten out in his contract. I mean, I'd cut him now and take the dead cap. That guy.
I'm sorry.
14. Howell pressure coming, and down he goes again.
I agree.
It was like ball snap. There he goes down again. Like, wow, that was extremely quick.
Andrew Wiley. Last week,
the man literally a turnstile. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Let me ask this: would it be better, to bring Lucas in, or B, to or to switch Cosme and Wiley?
I love what Cosme's doing where he is.
That's the thing, man. He is playing at a Pro Bowl at least level right now.
He's mauling people in there, and he's comfortable. I like what he's doing. And if we're going to run the ball, I prefer to have our strength to the inside like that. And Wiley, the thing about him is that you could probably statistically look, which I haven't done. I'm just going to talk like I know what I'm talking about. Look at the camera and say, hey, if you looked at him statistically, he's probably not all that bad. He just gives up a big one when it comes from a big one. But the ones he gives up are fucking horrible, right? They come right after him and they okey doke right on around him, and Hal's got nowhere to go. So I would have to go ahead and double up on my head smacks here because everybody took every one that I would have picked, because really, who else are you going to pick? Everybody was bad except for the receivers who were standing out there going, shit, no time whatsoever. Yeah. So on every one of them that you guys said, I'm just going to double up. Simple as that. Did I make a point?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many did he give up?
My friend.
How many did he give up yesterday? Was it 4?
I think Wiley was actually have that in.
He gave up at least 2 at bad times right away. Where
he gave up 2 sacks.
Yeah, was it 58? I think I don't know the names, but 58. I think just made him look stupid.
I was Leonard Floyd.
Well, then, yeah. The best thing about it is, I guess, is because that
Wiley 3 pressures. 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. Sadiq Charles, he gave up 2 sacks, and so did Nick Gates.
See, Gates is giving up a lot of sacks from center as well, and that's worrying.
They're coming in from the defensive tackle end, which was, they got a first-round pick in there, and he did have a pretty good game. And I just can't remember names right now, but I can see him on the sideline slapping 5 right now. Go ahead. What's his name? Ed Oliver. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And he. So I guess when you look at who gave up the pressures, there you go. Their interior line was doing the job. Anyway.
Yeah, this was Sadiq's worst game as a pro, because he's been doing okay. I think we've been especially getting out the run game and especially on the screens, he's out there mauling people, and he's been decent in pass protection. But he had a bad game. He had a bad game, that's for sure. So did Nick Gates.
Scott is laser intent on looking at Keith with that Jergens to make sure.
I was going to say, we've been going 45 minutes in, Keith preparing himself. Like, that's it. I know I've only got 10 minutes to go. Got to get them hands.
First of all, it's Eucerin, okay? I don't go for Jergens.
Well, okay. I mean, we didn't need to get personal or anything like that. Frankly, as long as it ain't Noxzema, I'm happy with whatever's in your shower. Anyway, so let's talk about some defensive head smacks.
All right.
We'll start with Keith. Who's your first defensive head smack of the day?
Well, since I mentioned Sam earlier, I'm going to go ahead and do Montez Sweat here. Like, he didn't do anything particularly bad in this game, but you didn't do anything good either. And there's always a big question hanging over Sweat's head. He always seems to show up against teams that are worse than us. But when it's time to play these perennial teams, where are you at?
Yeah.
This is why my man is going to struggle with the contract if he don't get it right. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the bad teams. It's about what can he do against the good teams.
Look, I'm looking. If you're looking at this, with those horse blinders on, and yeah, Montez has one more game than Chase does. But if you discount, don't think about Chase's not playing last year or the year before. If you're just squarely on this year, I'm sorry, the 2 games that Chase has played, he's better than Montez Sweat right now. I'd give the bag to Chase. If you're just considering this year, because those 2 guys, probably only one contract comes out of it. But if they both ball out, you can get both of them. You're just going to have to put the franchise tag on it, because we got plenty of money next year if Sam Howell works out.
I think that was kind of premature. And I would like to point out for the viewing audience that we only caught Keith with horse blinders on that one time, and his wife was awfully embarrassed by that. He wasn't supposed to. Dude, could you imagine, though, when we were back to Wiley, could you imagine if Von Miller was playing? They might have had 15 sacks.
Oh, yeah, it would have been ugly.
Von Miller might have eaten him alive. All right, so, Deuce, who's your first defensive head smack of the day?
Man, linebackers, like, where were they? Like, where are they? Like, where are they? Like, I want Jamin to like blitz him minimum.
Jamin needs to be playing that middle. He needs to be playing the mic.
Yeah,
I don't understand why he's not.
Because Barton can't check receivers. He can't keep up with them. He's not going down. He's not playing downhill. And where are they when Josh Allen when the hole opens up and he's running for 15, 20 yards? Like, where did they go?
Where the hell down the field?
Like, where, like,
well, for one,
I don't understand why they're
at least 12 times a game. At least
I don't understand why there was no spy on at least on third downs on Allen. I don't get that at all, because we spied Russell Wilson last week.
He's half the threat. Listen, when it comes to Jamin Davis, I noticed on big third downs, he's leaving the field. In fact, one of those third downs that we didn't spy, and off went the fucking big giraffe, and he got himself a first down. But I'm wondering, why is he leaving the field? Why are they putting this bum-ass linebacker in 100% of the snaps? And then I'm watching last night. Look at Cole Holcomb filling the fucking hole and tackling the goddamn runner at the line of scrimmage.
Didn't do that shit here.
Listen. I said this earlier, Deuce, about how we see the same problems out of different players in the same positions year to year to year to year to year. Here we have linebackers, and I mean, Holcomb can obviously do it. He's doing it in Pittsburgh. But what the fuck is it with Jack Del Rio that he tells his linebackers, just get out there and run around in circles? Nobody gives a shit. Just get out there.
It's bad, man. Like, and I don't know what's going on with Jamin. Like, he's regressed, in my opinion. So, like, in Denver, I noticed at least 7 to 8 times Barton putting him in position before a play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very concerning to me. Very concerning to me.
See, I think I'm going to, when it comes to that, Barton is the one that's calling the weak side, that's, I don't think that's on Jamin. I think that's on Barton himself. I honestly believe they need to switch roles. They really, really need to switch roles. Jamin doesn't need to come off the field, because I think he's played his best football until yesterday.
When he plays
of his career,
fast.
Yeah, he is fast, and I don't understand why Barton is the issue on the defense. He is the whole
his
entire
execution.
defense.
Let me ask you this, Deuce. When you saw this last week where he's directing Jamin where to go, was Jamin eventually, as the play progressed, was he in the right place? Was it
no? It's like obviously Jamin is playing the weak side of the defense,
right?
So when they come out and they looking to set up, for some reason he continued to go to the strong side of the defense, and Barton had to grab him and pull him and tell him you belong over here,
all right,
and not over there. Like that's the issue, and I think, and I kind of disagree with Jesse. I don't think he's been playing real good ball. I think he started off better last year, and that could be because of the positions that Jack Del Rio is putting him. I think when he tracked down Russell Wilson and got the forced fumble, I think that was kind of like a fool's gold type thing on his actual play the first 2 weeks.
Okay, that's a good point. All right, well, and I'll tell you what, those are some interesting things about the linebackers because we know Jack Del Rio seems to absolutely ignore them. He seems enamored on this idea of the hybrid that's going to go in there, and I guess Cam Curl's playing fine, but there does come a time where you do need some freaking linebackers out there, man, and we definitely do need them. All right, so Scotty, who's your first head smack for the defense?
Well, really, it's the entire defense on third down. That's it. I mean, I don't know how many times I had to scream at my TV, like, what the fuck are you doing when it's 3rd and 12 plus, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 20, and we just let that giraffe run through the middle of it. Just off you go. Make sure you're there. What did we say for the whole pre-show? You have to make sure you contain Josh Allen. Everybody knew the answer. Everybody knew the answer was contain Josh Allen.
It's easier to say than to do.
No, I know that it's easier said than done. But if you know that is the answer, why is there a gaping hole where he can run 20 yards or he can just run himself in the end zone? Right. He can just run himself in the end zone. No problem at all.
Right.
Shocking. Absolutely. On third down, we were awful. We were absolutely awful.
All right. So, Jesse, who's your head smack? Did I already ask you? I don't think so.
Defense, it's hard to say because this team, they gave this team a chance through 3 quarters, and I'm wondering. I'm going to give it to the whole defense because I'm wondering if after that interception in the 3rd quarter or the fumble, Gibson's fumble, if they kind of let their foot off a little bit, they kind of were they dejected, and made possible because they kept 16 points. That's 2 scores. That's it. You keep a team like Buffalo, holding them to 16 points, you should have a chance. We should have been in this, but things just kept happening. Self-inflicted wounds, basically. They kind of compiled themselves through 3 quarters of play. I think I don't want to say they quit. I'm not saying that, but I'm thinking they just got dejected. After all those turnovers, I'm gonna say they were dejected.
I tell you what, I'd like to go out there and play some more, but that fumble, damn it, that Antonio Gibson, he just got me right there.
They're like, come the fuck on, man. What the fuck? We're out here, playing against an elite offense. Listen,
doing our best.
They're fucking
16 points, and there you go, dropping the ball on the ground.
16 points for a Buffalo team. You're holding them to that. I think that's adequate, man. That's adequate play. Even though they gave up 3rd downs left and right, they only had 16 points.
I was thinking to myself, what a lucky play. They would hold for tackle for loss, lucky throw. And then
that
you look
one
at it
3rd
again,
down. Oh god!
But you look at it in replay, and it's like, damn, that's not a lucky throw. That motherfucker's good.
He is good.
Yeah, he is absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's elite.
All right,
but I think they held up their end for 3 quarters. I think they held their end for 3 quarters. You're going to give it up to Josh Allen. Everybody does because he is so good. Because the corners played well. I thought the corners played great,
as well as you can expect without that.
As you can. Yeah,
right.
I mean, even in the 4th quarter, the offense turned the ball over in our red zone.
Yeah.
for the most part. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Interception in the
six.
end zone.
Yep.
Right.
Pick
What was it?
six.
No, pick six. Well, that was such a freaky play. You know, I know you can. He shouldn't try to loft it over that big dude. But
That off one-footed
expects him
lofted
to
over
fly up
soft.
there and intercept that ball.
Yeah.
99% of the time, that ball hits the ground. But even still, man, that's where you get dejected. Like, holy shit, nothing we're doing is working. So my head smack for the defense, I had it in my mind just a minute ago, and I forgot what it was. So I'm just going to give it to Cody Barton for having the fucking whitest name this side of Wyoming and fucking playing like it. Damn cowboy hat wearing motherfucking Cody goddamn Barton. Hey, boys, watch me misdiagnose this play and be late to get to the hole. Hey, where'd he go? God dang. All right. We got anything left to talk about this game, or is we just going to burn it, turn the page? What do you think Sam Howell can learn from this?
Not
a lot. You know, I like what Sam said after the game.
I did too.
Somebody asked him. He said, you know, do you just kind of just throw this away and keep moving? He said no. He said you got to learn from it. We're not going to throw this away. I'm gonna put it on the tape, and I'm gonna you know, see my mistakes and try to fix them. So I appreciate that from Sam. He's a young quarterback. We knew a game like this was going to happen. We none of us wanted it to happen like this, but you know, he was bound for a game. So I really hope him and Bieniemy especially can figure this out because they got some work to do.
Deuce, do you think they can?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can figure it out. A lot of our issues, to me, are not really replaceable issues. They're correctable issues with what you have in place. You know, I think they can, but they don't have a lot of time to fix it. You know, they have all of them is basically on 1 year deals. Yeah. So they got to get it. They got to get it right because Hogg is looking over top of them, and they looking at them very, very, very closely.
Scott, what do you take away completely from this? What is your summation?
Honestly, it was just an arse kicking. It's going to happen from time to time. They're a far better side. They're in that Super Bowl window. They're a really good side, and we just couldn't compete with him at all. You got a rookie quarterback. We knew this was going to happen at some stage. Does it upset you? Does it piss you off? Yeah. Can it be written and rewritten and make things right? Yeah, of course it can. It's just going to take time. He's going to take his lumps. He's going to have games like this. Not all on Sam Howell, but things need to be corrected. We spoke about it already. We need to make sure that we're running the ball more. We need to make sure that we're trying to strengthen this offensive line in any way we can, and then make sure we keep him on his feet. And if we can, we might have an answer at quarterback. We've been searching for so long now. In my lifetime, I haven't seen one. I mean, Jesus Christ,
let them learn and develop.
That's what you have to. Look, I'll tell you, do you think that Wiley would be able to play better if the commissioner would let him use a shotgun? Think he'd be able to keep anybody out of the backfield?
Maybe steroids. Give him something.
Let's go all the way. I mean, if we're going to give him something, put him a pistol in his hand and tell him, "Get the fuck away from my quarterback, man! Get away!" All right, Keith. This week we play the Eagles. This week we play the Eagles.
Hold on. I haven't given my assessment yet.
All right, please give us your assessment. I was trying to go ahead to your home life.
I don't really have one. How about EB call some plays that can actually benefit this offense in pivotal situations? How's about when the ball is on the goal line, maybe, just maybe, we call a quarterback sneak? Maybe?
Yeah. And everybody bitched last year about Scott Turner having them in the shotgun on the goal line. And guess what? EB does the same fucking thing.
Honestly, I would go up into the goddamn the office that the offensive coaches sit in up there in FedEx Field, and I would test the paint in that goddamn room because they get down to the 1 yard line. And they go, "Oh, what the fuck should we do?" I'll tell you what. Why don't we go back and shotgun there and try to double reverse from the back of the field there and punt?
Finish your point, Keith. What were you saying?
Yes, Keith.
Yeah, no. I think that things can be done. We've seen that Sam Howell can throw some NFL balls, right?
He threw some yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be fixed. But also what needs to be fixed is play calendar in pivotal situations. Nothing that I felt was called in pivotal situations was the right call. but also what was called wasn't executed either. So it's a game to learn from. And listen, it's just one game. Every quarterback has a bad one. I don't care what anyone says. Sam Howell was not going to be 17-0 this season, and I know that the fan base that's usually where we go to, where we're like, time to question the quarterback. He threw 4 interceptions. Listen, that whole entire team was bad. You can't just point the finger. You can't point the finger
except for Joey Sly
at Sam on this one. Yeah, Joey Sly. Yeah,
MVP
great.
of the day.
Thanks for kicking a field goal. Appreciate it. Anyways, so that's basically my point is we got to take a look at the circumstances. We got to make better play calls during those circumstances. Let's put some points on the board and maybe quit calling shotgun play. Anyways, I'm just going to keep going because there was not a play call that I agreed with in pivotal situations yesterday. We could have been back in this game, not saying we would have won. I don't think it would have turned out the way that it did. But I'll have to say, going into one good thing that, and we've mentioned this on, today is, when you throw 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions at the time and you're only down 16-0, I mean, it's not horrific. Still in it. So we're still in it. So we're not, we're not down in the dumps. It's just let's move on and let's kick it forward and see how we can do better next time.
There you go. All right. I have one comment and I have I don't even know what else I have, but I'll tell you what, I was watching I think it was Shannon Sharp or with Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson's podcast. Have you watched Chad Johnson's podcast? I love Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson is one of the few guys in the NFL over the last 20 years who will tell it like it is, period. But he's got one of those
funny.
He's hilarious. He's got one of those ring lights right in front of him, and it's on his glasses, and it makes him look like he's got the fucking googly eyes while he's running around. So it's fun to watch, and it's fun to listen to. I would tell you what we need to do to go forward on something like this is exactly what you guys are saying. Take it, learn from it. We hear Hal say the right things. We have to see progress on the things that we need to see progress on. Like we heard all summer long that he was working on his footwork. Well, I haven't seen it. Sometimes I see it. I said a minute ago, he made some pro level throws like that throw to freaking Chris Samuel at the end of the game or Curtis Samuel at the end of the game down the sideline was freaking beautiful. He made a couple of nice throws to Curtis Samuel yesterday. He can squeeze it into tight windows, but he's got to take it on the count and let it go. He can't just sit back there and hope something's going to come open. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. Deuce, why don't you go ahead and promote your podcast and your various episodes, please?
And the spaces.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just Red Zone in the Lab podcast. All your social media channels. You can just type that in. Will pop up and it'll direct you within there to the other channels. Twitter Spaces, of course. We have a Twitter Space community. We put out our links. You follow me on Twitter, send me a DM. I can send you that link. Yeah, we pretty much in Spaces, pretty much all day. But we do have like shows every morning from like 9 to 1 o'clock. That show is pretty much consistent. And then we have shows throughout the day. So let's join.
Excellent. Keith, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I can contest to, Deuce in the Spaces. They run pretty good shows from morning until late afternoon, early evening. Guys sit in there, man. There's a lot of people in there that have a lot of knowledge. You can tell everyone in there has passion for football. They love this team, very knowledgeable in the things that they're talking about. I actually, I don't really go in there and give anything intellectual, just like this pod. But I do like to go in there and listen to people who actually know football.
I can say Deuce raised the intellectual level of this podcast quite significantly today. We went into a whole other dimension of talking football rather than good, man.
I had a ball.
There you go. Well, good, man. We hope you come back sometime soon. Oh, yeah, I got to do this. I always forget.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming on.
There we go. With Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Jesse. Go right ahead.
No, I was saying it sucks that it wasn't celebrating a win, but we'll definitely get Deuce back on later on down the road.
Hey, look, the Cowboys lost. That's a win.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, like I said, tonight, go Buccaneers.
Yeah.
We could have had that a horrible day yesterday and find ourselves in first place.
Yeah.
So,
and look, the Cardinals
having
aren't as
itch.
bad. Jesus Christ, Keith. I don't want to see
They're
you.
having an itch.
Wow.
We saw enough of that the other week.
Hold on, let me get.
oh, here we go. There, he's going to show us the
The,
we got the other.
Just cut the stream now.
Oh, yeah.
The Cardinals aren't as bad as we think.
The rating just turned to nudity.
Rating just turned.
Now I got to put an X rating on it. Jeez.
Yep.
I know.
X-rated.
Keith, what weighs the gym?
There ain't an 8-year-old girl in the country that hasn't seen this when they take off their fucking Ken doll shirt.
What weighs the gym,
My
Keith?
pants do.
The gym is that way.
Oh, that's awesome. That's definitely awesome. All right, so as Keith said, nothing's happening in his house. His wife's an Eagle fan, and no matter what he looks like, he's not getting anything this week. So we'll be back at Friday at 5:00 to talk about the Eagles game coming up. Scotty, when do you guys go on the one point safety show?
Thursday evening. It'll be in your feed Friday morning, most likely.
And just remember, right after you're finished having a good time with this podcast, to go over and listen to the Bunker podcast on the Transatlantic Commanders Network that we're going to fucking all set up. That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we got for today, man. Fuck the Bills.